The Hero Boba Fett ambush deck is back, and it is back with an absolute bang, as this deck is better than it's ever been. Through Legends of the Force releasing and giving us some beautiful new toys to this deck, plus you guys playing my old variation of this deck and giving me suggestions on how to improve it, it is in the best state it's ever been. It's got to the point where it's consistently taking down some really top decks. And on top of that, it's still a ridiculous amount of fun just ambushing anything and everything. But very quickly, before we jump into the leader, the base, and how the deck looks to play, if you enjoy StarWarsUnlimited content, then make sure to like and subscribe, because I'm going to be bringing out so many more deck builds, gameplay videos, and box openings when the new sets drops, and I really don't want you guys to miss out. And with that being said, let's crack on to this deck. For this ambush deck to work, of course we need Boba Fett. So he reads, when you play a unit that has one or more keyword, you may exhaust this leader. If you do, give a friendly unit +1 for this phase. The reason that is so good when you partner it with ambush is because in StarWarsUnlimited, you pick the order things happen. So if you play a card with ambush, you can activate Boba Fett first, exhausting him, giving this card +1, meaning it has 4 attack. Then you can activate the ambush and ram this now boosted attack unit into something they control. So through Boba Fett boosting our ambushing cards, it quickly becomes out of hand and we just start trading into anything and everything. When Boba Fett deploys, he deploys on 6, he has got 4 attack, 7 health, and reads each other friendly unit that has one or more keyword gains +1. So it's the same as before, but basically everything just has it as long as Boba Fett's out. Here's a nice little bit of tech for you though. So this is your board right now, right? You've got a Cloud Rider ready to attack. You want to play out another card with a keyword, activate Boba Fett, giving this Cloud Rider the +1, so it's got 4 attack. Then you can deploy your Boba Fett, meaning this is going to get another +1, meaning this Cloud Rider now hits for 5 for this phase. Please don't miss out on that, because Boba Fett being able to give something +2 attack for one phase, it's actually really strong. For our base, we want to run a Cunning base, because that's where most of the ambush is, and this is where the first big change for this deck comes. Yes, we are running Jeddah City. Don't click off the video. I promise you this card is amazing with this deck. I'm going to be honest, I never would have even considered this card because I've always thought it is one of the worst bases within this game, but thanks to a comment from this person right here, they suggested, why not run Jeddah City? It makes sense with ambushing cards, and my word are they right. That is because Jeddah City reads, epic action, so you're going to do it once a game, give a non-leader unit -4 for this phase. The reason that is absurdly strong is because you can activate that, more often than not giving something 0 attack, then you can ambush in, boost the ambush, defeat that unit, and keep your unit on the board, which is unheard of for this deck, because normally your units just go down. I was very skeptical when I tried this out, and it's now so good it's an absolute must-have in this deck. A couple of times I looked to activate this ability is either turn 1 to defeat their like Jedi Counselor or Yaddle immediately, and then we've got a unit left on the field ready to go, or maybe on like a 4, 5, 6, 7, whenever resource turn they play something quite big, you can actually make it only hit back for 2 and just defeat it immediately with one of your many ambushing cards. It's so strong. Trust me with this, and to the person that commented for it, thank you so much. So with our leader and our base done, let's crack on to these ground units. Kicking things off the ground units is, well, a card you've already seen. We want to run 3 of them. That is 3 Cloud Riders. This card just sums up what this deck is beautifully. So it's 3 attack, 1 health with ambush. So of course with Boba, you want to activate him when this card ambushes, meaning you've got a 2 costing card ambushing for 4 attack. This card will deal with every single one of their turn 1 plays they play out on ground, unless it has a shield or unless it's Gunji. But apart from that, it will defeat everything. I love using this to just defeat Jedi Counselor or Yaddle immediately. It's so strong for that. Even though it's a lovely turn 1 play, it's also really nice to get late game. Because of that boost, ambushing for 4 for 2 cost just gives us insane value. Especially because in our deck we now run Spark of Hope, so on our 4 resource turn we can actually ambush that out, defeat something they control, defeat this, activate Spark of Hope, and then put this into play as a resource. So we get to defeat something and ramp! Moving on to our next 2 costing ground unit is 3 X34 Land Speeder. This is one of those cards, outside of this deck, it's not very good. A 2 attack, 3 health ambush, it's not going to defeat anything, right? But with Boba, boosting it into a free attack, free health ambush is so much better. This deck absolutely destroys Sabine now, especially because cards like this, because this can go out, boost him, defeat their Sabine turn 1 play, and you've still got Jeddah City active with this card left alive. You'd actually be quite surprised how many times this can ambush into something and survive without even activating Jeddah City just because of its free health. I really like it. When I first put it in last set, I was like, it's alright, it's massively growing on me. And our next 2 costing ground unit is a non-ambush card actually, and there's not many in here anymore. That is free L3 37s. So this card, 2 attack, 2 health, that reads, when played, you may rescue a captured card. If you don't, give a shield token to this unit. So 99% of the time, it's going to be a shielded 2-2. That's alright. But the main reason I run it is here. It's got smuggle, so you can smuggle it out of your resources for 4 cost. By the way, smuggle is a keyword, so we can activate Boba with it. These days, I very rarely play this from my hand. I'm normally always bringing it out through smuggle, especially with all the force throws and all the Spark of Rebellions and all these other hand hate options, especially Ahsoka. Having cards in your smuggle to bring out is so strong for us, especially ones that come out shielded and activating Boba. Moving on to our free costing ground units is actually the other card within this deck that is an ambush, but every other unit is ambush, I promise, and that is 2 Echo Base Defender. So it's 4 attack, 3 health with Sentinel, so you can play it out, activate Boba and make it a 5 attack Sentinel for the phase. But in the aggression matchups, if you're not seeing the ambushing, or you've got cards that can ambush but we can't defeat because of shields, or maybe they got too much health, this card is beautiful to slow them up, especially because it can hit back for 5. That 5 can one-shot the Sabine leader, by the way, and survive. Okay, moving on to our next free costing ground unit is 2 Contracted Hunter. So this card is 4 attack, 4 health, and of course it's got ambush, so you know what that means. With Boba, I can make it ambush for 5 damage for free cost. It has got, when the regroup phase starts, defeat this unit, which is a little annoying, but that's why we only run 2 of them, because it's just in there to just annihilate something for only 3 resources. Moving on to our 4 costing ground units, we've got 1 Hidden Sharpshooter. So it's 4 attack, 3 health, believe it or not, it's got ambush. So with Boba, you can activate it, making it ambush for 5. And this is one of those cards you kind of want to activate Jeddah City with, because if you activate Jeddah City, ambushing for 5, defeat it, you've then got a 4 attack unit ready for the following turn. And well, it's a clone with really cool artwork. Why wouldn't you want to play it? Our next 4 costing ground unit is 3 Modded Cohort. I mean, it's the Mos Espa crew and it's Hero Boba Fett. They've got to go in there. And like I say every time, even though they had a weird place within the show, they're a really good card and they fit with Boba beautifully. So it's 2 attack, 4 health with ambush and raid 2, meaning when it attacks, it gets that +2. So it's actually going to be ambushing for 4, but with Boba, you know what that means, it's going to ambush for 5. Similar to our clone Sharpshooter, this is really nice to activate Jeddah City with, because you can ambush out for 5, defeat it, and keep this card alive for the following turn. I'd much rather activate Jeddah City with something like our clone, because the clone has that inherent 4 damage. Something like this is nice, but if they ambush like a Forlom into it, it just gets defeated, and their Forlom survives because of the 2, while with our clone, at least the clone will take Forlom down with it. Talking about another card that can give us insane value at Jeddah City is our 5 costing ground units. That is 3 Syndicate Lackeys. I can't even begin to tell you how much I love this card within this deck. That's because it's 5 attack, 4 health, with ambush, and you know what that means. It can ambush for 6 with Boba. It's just this card can just one-shot so many things, and it can trade up so often. That's what this deck does beautifully, by the way, trading up. And if you're wondering what I mean by that, I mean things like our Cloud Rider, that's 2 costs, will trade into something that costs 3, 4, maybe even 5 resources. So because of that, we're always trading up in value. So they're using all of theirs, and we're only using like a partial amount of ours, meaning we can still play more. So that is why I say we're trading up. Moving on to our 6 costing units is 2 Emperor's Nest. I had to keep this card within this deck. It's an ambush deck, and when this card is on the field, it just makes all of our ambush insane. So it basically just gives us Jeddah City on everything. You may be wondering why. Why does it give us Jeddah City? That's because it's 5 attack, 4 health with ambush. So of course we can ambush for 6. You may be thinking that's not that great, and it isn't really. But this is why it's so good. While a friendly unit is attacking using ambush, the defender gets -3. So it's like a mini Jeddah City on every single ambush we play. That alone is insane, because it just means all of our ambushing cards all of a sudden are just going to survive while clearing everything. So it's just nuts. Play this out, boom, defeat something. Oh, by the way, that Emphas is actually still alive. Oh, that Cloud Rider I played out. Yeah, it's actually going to defeat a unit, but it's still going to survive because of Emphas giving it the -3 attack. Really, really, really strong card within this deck. But the reason we don't run free is because of the next card, which is the first edition from Legends of the Force, and it probably is the best card within this deck. Like, it's so strong, it's not even fair. And that is free DeckProfile. I've probably said that name wrong. Honestly, this card is borderline broken within this deck. That's because she's got 5 attack, 7 health, and she's got ambush and saboteur. So she's always going to ambush out for 6 within Boba, and that saboteur is absurd because it means she can skip past sentinels and she'll defeat shields on the attack. The main issue with this deck is shields. Shields destroy us, but she just doesn't care about them. She'll just nuke things off the field like it's nothing. And because of the 7 health, she always survives. It's so rare she ambushes into something and goes down herself. She always tends to survive. This is another one of those cards you don't realise how strong it is until you start playing with it, because just one shot and everything. Outside of this deck, I can see why she's okay, because 5 ambush isn't amazing. It's good, but it's not amazing. But just put it up to 6. It just starts trading into all these really strong cards. Moving on to our 7 costing ground units, we got 2 Han Solos. This card's still so good. So it's 6 attack, 6 health with ambush, so of course we can make it ambush for 7, but while attacking, the unit deals combat damage before the defender. So meaning, if this ambushes out and defeats something, no damage goes back to Han Solo. So because we're getting up to 7 damage with him because of Boba, we're just one-shotting pretty much anything at that point, and Han Solo's taking nothing back. There'll be one issue though when you play Han Solo. Like, normally you play him out, he'll defeat something, but once he's there, they will go for him. No one has ever let him just sit there. Every single person I've ever played, as soon as Han Solo's come out, they've poured anything and everything into him to defeat him. He's just too good to be left out. But that's really good for you, because when you ambush out and you give him that +1, he keeps that +1 for the entire phase. So he's got 7 attacks. So whatever they're pouring into him, he tends to take down with them, which is so good. So this one Han Solo tends to take 2 or 3 units out on the turn he deploys. And if they don't deal with it, he will just win you the game. And rounding up our ground units is another 7 cost. It's a new addition from Legends of the Force. And it's one of the reasons the power of this deck has massively gone up, because it allows this deck to really compete in the late game. That is 2 Qui-Gon Jinns. So this card is 7 attack, 5 health with ambush. Yes, 7 attack with ambush. So with Boba, you can make him ambush for 8. Yes, 8. So he'll pretty much one-shot most things and most leaders. And he's also got, when defeated, you may choose a non-leader ground unit. Its owner puts it on the top or bottom of their deck. So 99% of the time, he'll come out with 8, defeat something really strong or their leader, and then his ability will activate, he gets defeated, and then pop something else off the board. He's a 2-for-1 within this deck. Moving on to our space units, we got 3 Fireballs. So it's 2 cost, 3 attack, 3 health with ambush, so you know what that means. With Boba, boost up to 4 attack. We've got a 2 cost, 4 ambushing space unit. We're pretty much deal with most things in the game at that point. However, it does read, when the regroup phase starts, deal 1 damage to this unit, so more often than not it's going to go down, but we're not overly bothered. We kind of use this to then smash into something big, defeat it, and defeat our own Fireball, and then activate our Spark of Rebellion to then put this into play as a resource. Moving on to our 3 costing space units is 2 Eager Escort Fighter. So it's 4 attack, 1 health, and of course reads ambush, so you know what that means. With Boba, it can ambush for 5 attack in space for 3 resources. This is one of the cards that's really nice to play with Jeddah City. That is because on the second turn, if they play something out in space that's quite strong, activate Jeddah, give it 0, play this out, defeat it, and then you've got a 4 attacking space unit ready to go the following turn. That is really strong, by the way. In my Lando deck, the reason this card was so good is because you can ambush with field, defeat something, and then this was ready the following turn. This is essentially doing the same thing. Moving on to our next 3 costing space unit is still one of my favourite cards in this game, and probably one of the best cards in this deck. That's 3 Blue Leaders. So it's 3 attack, 3 health with ambush. So of course with Boba, you can activate it, giving it 4 attack. But more importantly, when played, you may pay 2. If you do, move this unit to a ground arena and give 2 experience tokens to it. What I absolutely adore about this card is that you can choose the order things activate. So you can play it out on your 5 resources, pay the 2 to move it over here, then activate Boba to give it +1 attack. Then you can do the ambush, meaning you have a 6 attack ground unit ambushing with 5 health. If you've still got Jeddah City at this point, it will normally one-shot something, take no damage back, then meaning the following turn you've got a 5/5 unit ready on the ground. I absolutely adore it just because of versatility, and no matter where you put it, space or ground, it's super strong. Moving on to our 6 costing space units, we've got 1 Millennium Falcon. So it's 5 attack, 5 health. If you played this unit from your hand, it gains ambush. So with Boba, you can make it ambush for 6. It's alright, but it's also got smuggle, so you can smuggle it for 6, which is quite nice. Don't have to pay any more for it. It's alright, this card. I'm going to be honest, it's alright. I think I've almost never played it, maybe once. That's why I've cut it down in numbers. However, it does come up every now and then, just suddenly smuggling it out and have it there. Or maybe you just need to get that ambush off. And rounding up our space units is an 8 cost. That is 1 Home 1. So it's 7 attack, 7 health with Restore 2. So of course, because that Restore, you can activate Boba with it. And more importantly, each other friendly unit gains Restore 1. That means every single unit we play will get that Restore 1 keyword. Meaning, in theory, every card we play can activate Boba. But more importantly, when played, play a hero unit from your discard pile. It costs 3 less. So you can play it out, then activate its ability, bringing out another card to ambush, then activate Boba, boosting the ambush, bang, and then you've got a big unit ready to go. You may be thinking, we've actually got quite a few big units within this deck. That's because this deck tends to get there because of it trading out, but we've also got a bit of ramp within this deck that we'll go over in our events and upgrades. Talking of our events and upgrades is a 1 cost, that is 2 Confiscates. So this card is actually really important within this deck for a couple of reasons. First of all, what does it do? Just 1 cost, defeat an upgrade. Simple as that, right? So it's really good against the pilot leaders, just defeat that pilot. But the main reason it's in here is because this deck struggles against shields. So if they play out a shield, and we can just go 1 cost, confiscate, defeat that shield, and then play a 2 costing Cloud Rider to defeat it with the ambush, beautiful. But also at the moment, experience tokens and also things like General's Blade are really high in the meta. There's a lot of upgrades. So this just hard counters that. But the main reason it's in here is, like I said, to get rid of those shields for you. And also, because we don't run tons of space, being able to get rid of pilots for only 1 cost is just beautiful. Talking of upgrades, our next card, which is a 2 cost, is 2 Boba Fett's Armour. So this card is an upgrade, gives it +2 attack, +2 health, attached to a non-vehicle unit. If attached unit is Boba Fett and the damage would be dealt to him, prevent 2 of that damage. This is in here purely because, well, we've got the Boba Fett leader. And if you get this onto him, it becomes a 6/9 preventing 2 damage. He becomes an absolute behemoth of a leader. You don't realise how strong Boba Fett's armour is until you put it onto your own leader and he starts just swinging away like it's nothing. You also find people really want to deal with your Boba Fett when he comes out, just because everything getting that +1 quickly becomes stupid within this deck. So they have to deal with him and he becomes so difficult to deal with this armour. Our next 2 cost is a big change within this deck, and it's another one suggested by a number of you guys who watch these videos. That is 3 Spark of Hope. Really, really, really important change in this deck. So, choose a unit in your discard pile. If it's defeated this phase, put it into play as a resource. So typically on a 4 resource turn, we can ambush out something like a Cloud Rider or maybe a Fireball, defeat the unit they play and defeat our own unit. Then we just go Spark of Hope and then get it into ramp. Meaning we've got 4 resources on that turn. The following turn we're going to have 6, meaning Boba can come out immediately and things like our Qui-Gons and our Depper can come out that turn earlier and it just absolutely destroys them. Moving on to our 3 costing events and upgrades, we got 2 Waylays. This card reads, return a non-leader unit to its owner's hand. All it does, but it's a really simple bit of disruption. The reason this card is in here is because yet again, a lot of people are running experience tokens or shields or upgrades. Being able to just bounce that and get defeating all those upgrades is beautiful. Not just that, the reason we're running this over the other one that returns only enemy cards is that we can actually bounce our own cards back to our hand, meaning the following turn we can just ambush them straight back out. And rounding up the main deck is a 7 cost, that is 2 U-Wing Reinforcements. I can't even begin to tell you how good this card is. It's just... I think you have to play this deck to realise within this deck in particular why it's so good. So search the top 10 cards of your deck for 3 units that combine cost 7 or less and play each of them for free. So you do them one at a time. The reason it's so good is because a couple of reasons. You can play out like a Qui-Gon, sure you can, and just ambush bang. Or what I like to do is you play out multiple smaller units and just do like bombardment of ambushes. If you play out 2 contracted hunters, well I got U-Wing and Boba out, they will ambush out for 10. Yes, 10 damage. Or maybe they're starting to swarm a little bit much. You go 1 for in space, another one underground, and another one underground or space. Like, just doing that triple ambush is insane, because you can just nuke the board. And if you've got the Emphas Nest unit out, you can nuke everything on the board and tend to keep your units alive. It's just an ultimate power play within this deck. That is it for our main deck. Let's move on to this side deck. Kicking things off the side deck is 2 Phase 2 Clone Troopers. The reason it's in here is because maybe if you're playing a really aggro deck and you want to trade their units out earlier, swap this for the Echo Base Defender, just because it gives you that extra ambush. And this guy can be boosted up to 4 damage, and of course with Jeddah City you can tend to play this out and defeat it. And yeah, against those aggro like the Kylos or the double red Grand Inquisitors, they just can't deal with it, and you'll quickly wipe them out and they just run out of steam, and then you just run riot. Our next side deck option is a 4 cost, and that is a second Hidden Sharpshooter. This is in here for when the Sabine matchup. Give us another ambush for 5 basically. Between this, our 3 modded cohort, the other Hidden Sharpshooter, and the contracted hunter, like their Sabine just doesn't stand a chance. You can just one shot. See you later, good night. Our next card is a 6 cost, and that's 2 General Rikon, still can't say it. So it's a 5 attack, 7 health that reads, when played and on attack, choose a friendly unit, it has Sentinel. Give an experience token to it, otherwise it gains Sentinel for this phase. This wasn't the main deck for the longest times, but Deppa's just so good, she had to go in there. So this has actually made its way to the side deck. I'm thinking of maybe even dropping him from there. Our next card is a 4 cost, and that is 3 Bright Hopes. So it's a 2 attack, 6 health, Sentinel. So with Boba, you can make it a 3 attack Sentinel for the phase. And when played, you may return a friendly non-leader ground unit to his owner's hand. If you do, draw a card. So the option's there to then return your ambushing cards to hand and do it next turn. But it's mainly in here because we haven't got tons of space units. So if they do go space heavy, just playing this out and boosting it into a 3/6 is actually kind of cracked for the deck. Our next card is a 1 cost, and it's a 3rd Confiscate. If we're playing those upgrade decks or we're playing decks of lots of shields, it's an absolute must. And rounding up our side deck is a 3rd Waylay. So if we need that disruption or they're playing something out quite big with shields, we just can't deal with it, get rid of it, pop it to their hand. That is it for our main deck and the side deck. Here is the deck list for those who want it. For final thoughts on this deck, I really enjoy it. Like, this deck's always actually been weirdly quite good, but this set with Jeddah City, with Qui-Gons, with Deppas, my word is the power of it, like, just massively boosted up. It's just absolutely blitzing some decks now, and it's really, really surprised me of how effective it now is. Like, Deppa coming out, just skipping past Sentinels and Shields and ambushing is just absurdly good, and Qui-Gon being able to just one-shot basically every leader is just... yeah, it's just nuts. For matchups, we're really good against the aggression matchup, just because we can just keep destroying everything they control and suddenly play out these massive units. For the mid-range, we're quite good against mid-range decks, believe it or not, but it very much depends on one thing, and that is if decks play shields, we can really struggle. That's where the Confiscates, Deppas and Waylays really come in, because those decks are an absolute horror for us. And against hard control, we can beat them because we can go weirdly fast. However, control can be rough because we lose our ambush, which is our main strategy. So yeah, that is my updated Hero Boba ambush deck, and like I said, it's easily the best it's ever been. It's actually like weirdly good now. Don't forget to let me know in the comments what other decks I should build going forward. Thank you very much for watching, and hopefully I shall see you in the next one.